you guys, welcome back to the Horror. Um, Tonight I thought I would do something maybe a little different again. Not necessarily talking about a movie or anything, not doing a review, more of like a commentary on like basically like well-known celebrities that once may have appeared in horror movies. People such as like Kevin Bacon in the first Friday the 13th, or like Jennifer Aniston in the first Leprechaun movie, or George Clooney in Return to Horror High. Stuff kind of like that, and how none of them seem to ever really talk about it or like ever show up in any sort of like special features in a movie, like discussing doing the project or anything, or even in like documentaries like the Never Sleep Again documentary on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, or the uh, Crystal Lake Memories documentary that came out a couple years ago. Stuff like that. It just, I don't know. Like, I'm sure a lot of you probably feel kind of the same way, where it's like, why don't these people ever like take the time to like do maybe like just even like a little 10-minute interview of like to share their experiences on what doing the film was like. And it's really unfortunate because like I said, we all know there's so many people that are so well known now, or even if their stardom may have like fizzled a little bit at this point, but still like we're really really big, Jason Alexander in The Burning, or even in The Burning as well, what's his name, Fisher Stevens or something, who's been in a ton of movies like in Hackers and all this other stuff. And it's I don't know, it's kind of frustrating because it's like, okay, yeah, I get that like you're like a huge star. You may have gone on to like do like huge things, but it's like they never really acknowledged that like horror role or a couple of horror roles that they did. Like they never really seem to acknowledge it or talk about the experience, which is really unfortunate. Like I get, some of these movies were probably not like their proudest moments in in their filmography, but to us, to horror fans, it's a big deal because that's like a lot of these people we adore in these roles. Like one that really kind of comes to mind is Patricia Arquette, who was in, as we all know, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Loved her in that role. That was a great sequel to that franchise. Or even Lawrence Fishburne, who was in the same sequel as Patricia Arquette. Like they never like talk about this stuff. Like they never, there's never like an interview in like even in like an extras on a Blu-ray or anything, just to like, once again discuss like their experiences, how they got, to be in the role that they were in a specific horror movie. I mean, even too, like someone like, like Patricia Arquette, who has done a couple of like horror movies or horror type related content. Like I know Patricia Arquette did an episode of Tales from the Crypt. I think she was also in like another movie like Stigmata or something. Like so she's done a couple of things, but it's like doesn't really ever seem to like talk about these movies. Although maybe she's talked about Stigmata, I'm not sure. Like same thing with Kevin Bacon, like in the Crystal Lake Memories documentary. Like there was no like there's nothing from him, which is a shame. You know, it is a shame. Because like going back once again for like us horror fans, like we're like we all know that we're like such loyal fans. We have such an appreciation for this genre that it's like, come on, like, we love these movies that you guys may have been in, like show us a little love and like even if it's a short little like interview, like I said, even if it's like a little 10-minute interview or something, I would be happy with. Like it doesn't have to be like an extensive interview, but like give me something. I want to know what I want to know what it was like to be for some of these celebrities to work on some of these movies. Like even if you're like, dude, it was like the worst experience ever, I hated the movie when it came out, I want to know this. I do. I really do. Like I know someone like Johnny Depp. I know, like he doesn't really talk on like, at least like horror stuff, like Nightmare on Elm Street. Like he doesn't really talk. I don't think he really ever talks much about his experience, but I know, I think there's a little clip out there, from when he was on the Actor Studio, years and years ago, and I think he had like kind of talked about the movie a little bit. I think probably just like, discussing how it was like his first movie and stuff and how, he came to, be in this movie and stuff. But it's like, come on. Like, it's so well known too, especially like that movie was like, his vehicle of getting into movies. And, he was someone who didn't even want to be in movies. He was a musician at the time. So, it just, like I said, it would be fun to hear like what some of these, you know, celebrities, these well-known celebrities that we have now, share their experiences. Like, come on, own up to it. It's out there. Everyone's watching these movies. Come on, come on. Especially nowadays when it's like we have like all these streaming services, anyone can look up any one of these movies and see, a Jennifer Aniston or a Kevin Bacon or a George Clooney in one of these movies, even if they're cheesy. Like, George Clooney, going back to him, he was in, like I said, Return to Horror High. Cheesiest movie ever. Not even scary. Kind of like at the end, it kind of was like the April Fool's movie a little bit, where it was like, not really happening type thing, kind of like the wool was, you know, taken off our eyes or pulled over our eyes and stuff. But like, come on, like own up to it. I know, like recently, like very recently, like Matthew McConaughey and I think Renee Zellweger just finally acknowledged that they were in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, which that sequel, like, it's not the greatest sequel, but like I know that there are people out there who do admire that movie, and I respect that. But even still, I would still love to see a little like interview or something, like if there's a little like Texas Chainsaw documentary type thing, um, discussing the movies. Like, I would totally watch it. I would love to see them, like, participate in that and be like, oh, yeah, this is, what happened. This is what filming was like, even if they were like, yeah, you know what, really not our best roles. We're not really proud of it. I respect that, and I get why they wouldn't want to talk about it if they're not proud of it, but come on. Like, once again, it's like, everyone knows you're in it. You may as well talk about it. And let us know if you don't like it. What else? But I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to kind of talk about that. I've been kind of thinking about this for quite a while now, actually. Like, even way before Zellweger and McConaughey kind of officially were like, all right, we're coming out of the Texas Chainsaw closet and we're going to admit it. Like I said, just own up to it. Even if it's, once again, even if it's not like the greatest horror movie you were in, own up to it, because there's probably a lot of us who have had, even if it's not the greatest movie, we have some sort of emotional connection to it where, it might take us back to when we first saw it. Like, once again, going back to Return to Horror High, like, yeah, that's not the greatest movie. It's very cheesy, but whenever I see it, I get a little bit of that warm fuzzy feeling. And like I know in that same movie, Maureen McCormick was in that as well, from the Brady Bunch. She was Marsha, played Marsha in the original Brady Bunch show. Even stuff like that, like if she were to be in like a little something, little documentary, a little extra or something on a Blu-ray somewhere, I would totally eat that up. Like, come on, celebrities, own up, own up to it. But that's just kind of my little spiel. So, I'll keep this guy like on the short end for you, so it's not like too long. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys on my side or on board with me where it's like, where's these celebrities? And like, who would you love to see like appear on like a documentary or a Blu-ray exclusive like just talking about the movie. Like, what celebrity would you love to see just kind of like discuss their horror role or roles that they used to be in? Let me know. I would love to know. I would love to hear what you guys think. But until then, you guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a line. Till the next time, you guys, as always, stay classy and creepy.